Addison Rae was mocked relentlessly for her cringy TikToks. So how did she flip the script and land a top 10 album? This isn't just luck. It's a masterclass in rebranding. From wiping her Instagram to leaning into hyperpop nostalgia, she transformed from a punchline to a pop culture force. If you've ever felt stuck in your online persona, this is how you break free. In this video, I'm going to break down how she turned early failure into a rebrand that earned her respect and fans. From aesthetic resets to creative direction, you'll see the exact moves she made to stop being mocked and start being remembered. Watch until the end and you'll walk away with a blueprint to reinvent your narrative too. When Addison Rae first released music in 2022, it had all the makings of a breakout moment. But instead, it became a lesson in what not to do. Her EP leaked early, and the tracks like Nothing On But the Radio and To Die For with Charli XCX spread online before she could control the rollout. The reaction was pretty brutal. People called the song generic, calling it TikTok pop with no real substance. The music videos didn't help either. Critics said they lacked depth, like she was just repeating her social media persona instead of showing something new. The problem wasn't just the music. In early interviews, she struggled to articulate her vision. When asked about her inspirations or creative process, her answers felt very vague. Fans expected her to own the transition from influencer to artist, but it came across like she didn't even fully believe in it yet. The backlash hit hard because it reinforced the idea that she was just another TikToker trying to cash in on music without putting in the work. Her biggest mistake? Rushing the rollout without a clear artist identity. The leaks forced her to react instead of build anticipation. The visuals didn't match the tone of the music, and the songs themselves felt like they were chasing trends instead of setting them. It's a common issue for influencers crossing over. They assume their existing audience will follow, but music listeners expect more. Addison learned the hard way that you can't just drop tracks and expect fans to stick around. But here's the thing, failure became her blueprint. She could have walked away, but instead, she studied what went wrong. The leaks showed her how quickly hype can turn against you. The criticism made her rethink her sound. Even the awkward interviews pushed her to refine her message. Most artists don't get a second chance after a debut like that, but Addison treated every mistake like a lesson. By the time she regrouped, she knew what had to change. The music needed depth, the visuals needed a stronger point of view, and most importantly, she had to control the narrative instead of letting it control her. What looked like a dead end became the roadmap for her comeback. Failure wasn't the end. It was the first step towards something smarter. In early 2023, Addison Rae did something unexpected. She deleted everything from her Instagram. Every post, every story, every trace of her old content vanished overnight. This wasn't an accident or a hack. It was a calculated move to break free from the cringy TikToker label that had stuck to her ever since her early fame. Her profile had become a museum of outdated trends and viral dances that no longer represented who she wanted to be. Fans panicked, thinking she might be quitting social media altogether, but the truth was more strategic. Experts say wiping your profile clean is one of the most effective ways to reset public perception. It creates a blank slate, forcing people to see you differently. For Addison, this meant no more comparisons to her old TikTok persona. Suddenly, references to her past felt irrelevant almost embarrassing to bring up. It was like hitting a hard reset on how people talked about her. The mystery worked exactly as intended. Her audience grew curious about what came next instead of focusing on what she used to be. When she finally started posting again, the shift was obvious. Her new content had a moodier, more artistic vibe compared to the bright, bubbly aesthetic she's been in. She swapped flashy outfit checks for grainy, cinematic shots that felt nostalgic. The captions got shorter, more cryptic. The change wasn't just visual either. She started referencing late 2000s pop culture in subtle ways. Song lyrics in her bios, references to old Tumblr aesthetics in her visuals. This wasn't random. Gen Z nostalgia was having a moment, and Addison leaned into it without making it obvious. Fans who grew up with early internet culture recognized the references immediately, creating an instant connection. It felt authentic because it tapped into shared memories rather than chasing trends. Instead of trying to convince people she'd changed, she let the nostalgia do the work for her. Suddenly, she wasn't just a former TikTok star, she was part of a cultural movement her audience already loved. The payoff? Her Instagram wipe became a talking point itself. People debated whether it was a good move, which kept her name circulating while she worked on new music. When she finally dropped her next single, the contrast between her old and new self was stark enough to make people pay more attention. It proved she wasn't just rebranding, she was evolving. But none of this would have worked without the next crucial crucial step, finding the right collaborator to sharpen her sound. The visuals were set, now she needed music worthy of that new aesthetic. That's where Charli XCX came in. Addison Rae's early music career lacked one crucial thing: momentum. She dropped songs here and there, but there was no bigger plan, no rollout, no engagement strategy, just random releases that got lost in the noise. That changed when she started working with Charli. Their collaboration on To Die For might have been overlooked initially, but it planted the seeds for Addison's reinvention. Charli didn't just show her how to make music, she showed her how to build a fan base that actually cared. Charli's approach during her Brat album cycle was a masterclass in keeping fans hooked. She didn't just drop an album and disappear. She released deluxe editions, remixes, and kept the content flowing. She announced tours like the Sweat Tour, giving fans something to look forward to after the initial hype died down. That's the key. Momentum isn't about one big moment. It's about a series of smaller ones that keep people engaged. Addison took notes. She realized her mistake wasn't the music itself, but how she presented it. She treated her career like a series of disconnected posts instead of a story with chapters. So she started applying those lessons. Instead of vanishing after a single flopped, she doubled down. She teased new snippets of songs, dropped unreleased tracks as bonuses, and interacted with fans like they were a part of the process. She didn't just want listeners, she wanted a community. That shift was everything. Pop music isn't just about songs, it's about the world you build around them. Charli knew that, and Addison finally understood it too. The biggest lesson: consistency beats virality every time. Addison's early attempts relied on hoping a song would blow up on TikTok. Charli's strategy proved that steady, intentional releases create deeper connections than one-off hits. Addison stopped chasing trends and started building her own aesthetic. She released music with purpose, not just because she had tracks lying around. Every drop had a place in the bigger picture. That's why her comeback worked. She wasn't just dropping songs, she was crafting an experience. Fans didn't just listen, they waited for what came next. The leaks and rush releases of 2022 felt like a distant memory. Now, Addison had control. She knew when to tease, when to hold back, and how to make each release feel like an event. Charli's influence went beyond music. She showed Addison how to turn fans into advocates. It wasn't just about selling records, it was giving people a reason to care. That's how you turn a flop era into a loyal following. Momentum isn't luck, it's strategy. Addison stopped treating her career like a side hustle and started to treat it like a movement. But music was only half the battle. To really lock in her rebrand, she needed visuals that matched the sound. That's where her next move came in. Addison Rae understood something most new artists miss. Your music videos might matter more than your songs. When you don't have many tracks out yet, music videos help tell your story. They build lore faster than any lyric could. Her Aquamarine video didn't just accompany a song, it created an entire mood. It was filmed like a mid-2000s Disney Channel movie, and it tapped into that specific nostalgia without feeling like a cheap throwback. The grainy VHS filters, the pool party scenes, the soft glow of neon lights. It wasn't just a video, it was a world that you wanted to live in. That world building became her signature. Every release came with a fully realized visual. To Die For wasn't just a track, it was a hyperpop fantasy with glitter-covered chaos. I Got It Bad felt like a lost teen rom-com montage. She didn't treat videos as afterthoughts. They were the main event. And this was intentional. TikTok has reshaped how we consume music. It's not just about audio anymore. Songs go viral because of their visuals as much as their hooks. Addison leaned into that. Her team didn't just plan songs, they planned how those songs would look. The shift in public perception was immediate. Critics who dismissed her as a TikTok dancer suddenly started to pay attention. The videos proved that she wasn't just another influencer slapping her name on generic tracks. She had a point of view, one that resonated with Gen Z's love for analog nostalgia and internet-era aesthetics. Even skeptics admitted that the visuals were way too polished to ignore. Each video added another layer to her persona, making her feel like an artist rather than a content creator dabbling in music. Here's why this worked. Music videos give new artists instant credibility. When you don't have years of hits to stand on, visuals become your portfolio. They show you understand tone, mood, and branding. things that separate hobbyists from professionals. Addison's videos did more than promote the songs. They defined her. The aquamarine gem theme, the Y2K references, the dreamy California vibe, it all fed into a cohesive identity. Fans weren't just listening, they were collecting pieces of a bigger story. The strategy reflects on a bigger trend. Artists like Chappell Roan and Addison Rae are releasing videos for nearly every single, treating them as non-negotiable. It makes perfect sense. When attention spans are short, visuals stick. A great video can make a decent song memorable or turn an unknown artist into a talking point. For Addison, it was the final piece of her rebrand. The music improved, sure, but the visuals sold it. They made her feel established before she even really was. And that's the lesson for new artists breaking through right now. Your audio gets people to listen, but your visuals get them to care. Addison didn't just drop tracks, she created moments. And in an era where music is consumed visually, that's what sticks. But none of it would have mattered without one last ingredient: honesty. Addison's rebrand proves you don't need mass approval, just a niche audience that loves you deeply. She shifted from trying to please everyone to resonating with a specific group, and that's what made her music career work. Her journey shows how to turn a bad reputation into loyalty. Focus on quality, own your aesthetic, and invest in your visuals that tell your story. For creators, the lesson is clear. Stop chasing universal appeal. Instead, build something a smaller group will care about intensely.